Hi there, so in this Pilates for Runners session today we're going to take it down a little notch and look at your strategies, creating good form and strategy for the running that you're undertaking, especially in these warmer days. So we're just going to start taking a little look at our feet, move through into our ankle dorsiflexion and move through exercises and strategies you could be repeating every day there, and then take a little look at our hip mobility, and our thoracic range, so areas where we need lots of movement and range, and then take a little look at our core stability as such that you would understand. We talk about your kind of trunk awareness, its ability to work, flex, stabilize, mobilize when needed. So we'll do a few exercises for that as well. So it's a little bit slower paced because it's very warm at the moment. But it's really nice to review these. So props that you will need are some weights if you have them, or something quite heavy jug of milk, or a kettlebell, a single kettlebell, 2 kg max is sort of fine. Your soft overball for thoracic range, and I've got some yoga blocks, but this could be some big books as well, as we take a little look at your ankle dorsiflexion and end range mobility, giving you some exercises you can put into sort of everyday scenarios as well. So this is always lying around the house, I'm afraid, for you to work on. So we're going to start with our feet, having a little wriggle through our toes, a little shake off through the shoulders, allow yourself to arrive. Let's take our breathing flow and really arrive. Inhale to reach your arms up towards the ceiling. Exhale, pushing down in the space in front of you. Inhale to take a big jumper off. Exhale and push the ceiling away. Inhale here. Exhale, soften round and contract over a massive beach ball. Shake out through those arms and unroll, unravel all the way up to standing. Go again. Inhale to reach the arms up. Exhale, push down. Starts to channel the body. Let it know it's arrived in Pilates. Inhale to take a big jumper off. Exhale and push the ceiling away. Inhale here. Exhale, soften round and contract. Again, feel free to shake out anything here, what's been going on in your day, your morning, your afternoon. And unroll all the way up to standing. Taking a little look at our feet in our standing position. We're going to work through our feet. So we're just going to pick up the heels, alternating one and then the other. And we want your pelvis to stay quite balanced. So not sitting into one and then the other. So there's still even weight through the feet. So you have a bit of a press down into that ball and pad of the foot that you're bringing the heel up. And we're tracking out over the toes, so we're not sickling the ankle. Great. And that might feel okay. You might have a little shake, bringing one leg down. That's okay. Hopefully in repetition it might be getting a little bit smoother. Lovely, and then we'll go into our footwork. So I'm just going to come side on. We take your right foot just half a foot back so that the toes are directly in underneath your pelvis, and we start to pick up the heel here. And the reason for this is now you can see your heel is fully in line with that sitting bone if we were going to do cadence work. Not today, it's a bit warm. Good, so we're just picking up the heel, tracking it in underneath you. Pushing into that big toe joint, second toe joint, so almost like the knuckles and pad of the foot. And then come up onto tiptoes with as much weight and pressure as you feel comfortable with. So of course you might have a little bit more into your left leg now, but stand tall through your left side. And then see what it feels like to go up and over. Remembering that if this isn't comfortable, you can take the leg back a little bit. You're still in that plantar flexed foot, but the load isn't directly underneath you. Good, come back up onto the tops of the toes, pad and ball of the foot, heel down. You can have a fingertip touch onto something, it's not a balancing act. Onto the toes, up and over. Let's take a soft bend. Good, lengthen onto the tops of the toes, pad and ball of the foot, heel down. 2 more, heel up. Tops of the toes, up and over. Soft bend and plie, so we're really getting into the dorsiflexion of the other ankle as well in your half squat. Lengthen, tops of the toes, pad and ball of the foot, heel down, last one here, ball of the foot, really hang out there. Tops of the toes, up and over, Little squat, maybe a little bounce. Good, coming long, tops of the toes, pad and ball of the foot, heel down. Just have a little pad out, have a little wriggle through, notice how it feels. You're very aware of those toe joints especially. Stand tall. Good, and then we switch through to the other side, so you're just bringing your left foot back just a little bit, so you can start to kick up and bring the heel in underneath you. Good. Alright, and then we can come on to the tops of the toes. How does it feel to go up and over? Easier on this side, feels totally different. Is the right side staying lovely and tall for you? Come on to tiptoes, pad and ball of the foot, heel down. Good, 3 more. We come through, nice. Tops of the toes, up and over. Take a little half squat here. How is the dorsiflexion in that right ankle now? Lengthen, tiptoes, pad and ball of the foot, heel down. Good, last 2. Heel comes up, tiptoes, up and over. Bend and soften. Good, lengthen, tops of the toes, ball of the foot, heel down, last one, heel up, tiptoes, up and over. Take a little soft bend here, maybe a little bounce. Good, lengthen, tops of the toes, pad and ball of the foot, heel down. Have a little pad out there, have a little wriggle. Good, take our feet nice and wide and we start to move in hip circles. So big that we can bend and soften in one knee and then the other. So we'll only bend in the one where we're coming over to that area. Keep the other leg long. Have a little wriggle through. It's like you're really pressing your pelvis out, carving that space out. Just checking in how it feels, any sensations you're getting. Lovely, and then go in the opposite direction. So all exercises you can add to your warm-ups before you go running, or to daily strategies where you're trying to build more range in your ankles, your hips and your thoracic, or trying to strengthen through the trunk. Lovely. Then from here, come back through, stand those feet in underneath you. Nice, we're going to inhale and shrug your shoulders up. Exhale, soften and side them down. Inhale. Exhale, soften. One more time. Inhale. Exhale, soften. So then from here we can start to take a little look at some baseline tests that we would do for the body. So taking a little look at how our sort of half kneeling dorsiflexed foot is. So when we come into just a nice simple half squat, we keep our heels down onto the floor. We're just checking in how that feels. We haven't done a lot for the legs yet, so that might have some interesting feedback. And then lengthen. Great. If we take a little look at your full dorsiflexion when we've got like a half kneeling squat, we need to bring a chair or a surface in. So I can show you this as an interesting test to do with yourself at home. So a chair is a pretty good height. You're going to bring your foot onto the middle of it. Keep the heel down and just allow yourself to load forward. Good, and because you're keeping the heel down, you're not picking it up. Keep your pelvis square and just check in how far you can go. Now in this instance, the knee can go over the toes. It's tracking in a lovely clean line. It's no different than when we're here and it's in underneath you. So you're just checking in. And you can hang out in this. And just be aware of widening and splaying the toes and keeping that heel down. Almost like your heel is trying to reach back behind you, like your foot is lengthening in both directions. But keep your body upright, because obviously we could round and hang out in it. And we don't want you running like this. So you've got pelvis comes forward. Might get an extra little yawn of that hip flexor. Notice you might be loading off your heel. Get your heel down, more into your heel than you think. Good, come back off, have a little shake out. Check in with second leg. Foot right in the middle of the chair, it wants to base down. Now we've got the knee over the ankle, we start to move forward. Lovely splayed white toes, heel down. And you can take a few little shuffles into this. Good. And the deeper this dorsiflexion can be, the better. Can you see in your standing leg that's long, you're also dorsiflexing there, because that heel hopefully isn't picking up either. So we want both heels down, feet are splaying, going wider, going longer, they're grinding down. We're not just on one side or one edge or one front or back of the foot. Both feet are down. Nice. And come back off. Have a little shake off here. Now we can increase that dorsiflexion and hang out in end range by using our blocks as well. Blocks or books. So that's where we take a little look at improving our full squat action. So our feet were in parallel. We bend and soften half squat. So that's just already feels a little bit easier. It may not look like much, but it is. We can lower all the way down. Nice. And then when we want to take a little look at how deep our dorsiflexion is, how organized the body is can we get the heels back but keep the body up? You can see my body trying to figure out a strategy here. And I'm not in end range in my hips, my knees or my ankles, because they're all trying to figure out what on earth is going on. And if I do try to get my heels down, I come onto my bum. Now some people can, and that's great, but they still might be forward. So what we want to work on is a strategy to help you load your fascia and tissues. Remember, they're the connective tissues and fascia that have to be retrained as such to support you in your running. So if we load them at their end range, and this is where blocks can help, 2 books in underneath your heels. Just make sure I'm back in the space enough. Great. This is why women can run in high heels, no problem. Not a bother to me. Good. Fabulous. So then you can half squat and you can full squat down. And here we can see I can load back into my heels. You're not picking your toes up. You still want that nice splay. Toes down, load into your heels, and I can keep my body more upright. And here you're loading at end range. So all the connective tissues actually relax and your nervous system can read this. Whereas here, without it, trying to get your heels down, your nervous system is trying to keep you balanced and upright and supported and safe. Here, it's safe. We can load down, and you might want to take them a little bit wider. Maybe that's more comfortable. You've probably done something similar in yoga. We are trying to get you narrower in underneath you in a more parallel position. But it's a good position if you can get your laptop down on the chair in front of you to send the odd email. Like once a day, you have to drop down onto your blocks and books, real end range. Put the laptop in front of you and work through these structured squats. So if I come side on, we start nice and upright, knees track out in front, we open the sitting bones, body drops down, send an email, and you're hanging out here in this end range. Good. Then to come back up, you push the feet down into the floor, press the crown of the head to the ceiling, and you come all the way up. And I know you feel it, I feel it too, but it is about developing strategy. It's because our normal strategy is something totally different. So your body's relearning, and it's just giving you some conversation. So this is definitely one to do more of, me as well. And then when we are down there, we can start to take a little look at opening your thoracic. Remember, our runners are tracking their legs in underneath them with great strategy and efficiency, and they're keeping the body upright. So I'm struggling a little bit here. I could probably do with a little bit more height, and I'd be able to get my body upright. But my heels wouldn't be down. You know, my dorsiflexion wouldn't deepen as much, neither would my hips. So what you can do is then find yourself in front of banister, end of a bed if it's got it, or a radiator like this, and I'll show you. I'm going to turn around in a moment. So you can hold on, and again this gives your body proprioception, and you can allow one arm to sweep back behind you. Can you see how you're opening? Think thread the needle. Good, and then you would do the other side. Can you see I need a little bit of help to do that one? Fabulous. Stand down into your feet. If you're doing this with me, you're going to feel this now. Stand down into your feet, lengthen up. Shake off. So if you can take me with you to an area that you can hold on to something, I would say that door handle, but I know what it's like. I'm going to turn my back to you briefly and show you what I mean. So I come to face an area that I can maybe hold on to and hang from, kind of monkey hang. Come up onto my blocks and drop down into my squat. Hold on to my prop for my hand, and then notice that I can open up. So you can see I can turn all the way around. I'm still loading into end range. I get to open my chest. My body now learns it can be upright and in this deep hip, knee and ankle flexion. That arm can come all the way through, and you can do the other side. Oh, this side doesn't have as much ease and my hip wants to help out. Good, so that's one to practice. I'm going to do that one again. Good, so if you've got your area, can you now come to do this also? So you're loaded down, holding on to something in front of you, nice long arms, you get to hang out, and then opening up. And because you will be hanging out, I'm going to bring one knee down just to demo, you'll be able to open up even more. And think about those book opening kind of motions, opening pec minor, pec major. We don't want you running hunched. So trying to open up through the front of you whilst loading at end range. I mean, we're here to get as much bang from our buck as we can. Good, stand down into the feet, stand up tall. Lovely, shake out. So now just check in what your half squat's like. Have a little wriggle through. And put them to the side for a moment. Come back into the space and just take your hips for figure of eights. So if you were feeling all sorts of stuff from that exercise, that doesn't mean it's one to ignore. How about listening to your body and doing it gradually every day? 1 minute, 2 minutes, 3 minutes playing around with it, 4 minutes, send a text message and an email, hang out in it in 5 minutes. Play around with it, move up and down with your squats in it. Good. Fabulous. And also then the other thing we can do standing is balance work. Now obviously when you're running, you're 1 foot and then the other. No one at any point has 2 feet on the floor. So we can take a little look at sort of closed change, single leg stance, half squats. Good. So that's where we can keep a foot on the floor. So we just let your right foot come back behind you, little toe tap. Good. Very briefly. And then bend and soften into a half squat. So your left leg will be doing quite a lot of the load. And the right one is just there. Now I've got a little wibble wobble going on as well. And whilst you're practicing that, I'm just going to double check my notes. Great. So our real focus is on that knee going forward. So your left knee wants to go out over the toes, the other leg's just back behind you. Think about when you are running. We have this instance. Good. Toes can rest, they can have a little hover, it's just back behind you, this thigh is long. There'll be lots of wibble wobble, kind of hang out and display those toes, bring your eye line up. Maybe you're loading the fascia, you're retraining the connective tissues. Alrighty, lengthen, have a shake off, check in with the other side. Feet starting parallel. We can take a soft half bend. We can lengthen the left leg, underside leg back behind you. Resting toes, that's totally fine, little tip toes. And then continue to bend in that right knee, right ankle. We want the knee to go out over the middle toes as much as possible. You can have a little peek down. I'll show you. I can see what mine wants to do as well. Good, see if you can lift those left toes up for me now. Breathe, the body stays upright. Good, it's about this knee going out. Load into that dorsiflexion. Good. Lovely, come and have a little shake off. Nice, so then our second little exercise, standing balance, is to do an open chain, single stance, knee bend. So before we were just hanging out in a squat test, single squat test. Now we want to check in with a knee bend. So this is where you're going to keep your left leg lovely and long. Fabulous, your body lovely and tall. So your left leg is extended, doesn't need to be locked out. Keep your right knee near your left and see what it feels like to bring that right heel as close to your sitting bone as you can. But feel your quad kick in. So it's a very different position than here, here. flexing that right heel for me. Send your gaze forward. Open up through the front of the hips. Stand down into the left foot. Get the left big toe down as well. Can you get that right heel up any higher? Lovely. Shake off. Come back through. There's lots going on in the body. It's almost like we're freezing down, freeze framing your running. So you can really see what strain or pressures the body is going under. So feet come back into parallel. Right foot stays on the floor, the right leg is extended, not necessarily locked out. We keep the knees and the thighs in alignment, pretty much, as we then start to take left heel, we shouldn't have moved, up towards your buttocks. And I can feel all sorts going on in this side already. So much so I'm going to put my leg down and go again. Nice tall body. We're loading through the right side in length. We're sending that left heel. Imagine it's curling around something back here behind your left knee. There I go. Good. Nice easy breath. There's lots of strategy going on. Little small fast twitch fibers. Can you get that heel any higher? Nice, and have a little shake out. Well done. Take those hips again for another little circle or a figure of 8. Great. Okay. So then from here we can take ourselves into our squat test. And I always need squat test. That's not what I mean. I always mean your squat sequence. And I need my notes nearby me because it's kind of got 8 phases to it. You might also want your mat to protect your knees. That can be out in front of you. And we're going to do it without the blocks because we've had a little bit of dorsiflexion work going on. So we're going to see how it feels to move into that. So we start lovely and tall with our heels down. Great. And we take our squat, half squat. We then let it move into full squat, which means the heels might have to come up. We want a nice tall body. We're into the balls of the foot. Good. Could we get the heels down? So you will move forward. Now, for now, we're not going to load underneath the heels and support us. We're just going to take a little look. And I want you to pick your heels all the way down and just check. Oh, okay, so this is where I am. And then go back into it. If you were to dive your arms forward, backs of the hands together, because they give you a bit of counterbalance. You can get those heels further down. Good, some of you will have them all the way down. Lovely, come back through. Thighs are parallel with the floor. We then want to lower the knees down onto the mat. Ideally at the same time, but we might have a little walking pattern. Boom, boom. Yeah, that's fine. Good. We have our toes tucked. We know about the elastic recoil of the arches of our feet. We come up into thigh stretch. Good. Gently draw the belly button back, the pubic bone through. It's a pelvic tilt, not a glute squeeze or a holding of your breath. Keep your toes tucked. Just going to gather all my toes. It does help to have a twist and shout. Knees come down. Good. We come all the way up. Reach your arms out in front of you. We take our thigh stretch from our knees to the crown of the head. We stay as one lovely long line. The ribs are soft, the hips are open. The lower back therefore is protected. We're not overarching. Reaching arms helps support us and we get a lovely yawn through the front of our thighs. We want the front of us to be open and long. Good, we sit back down. Good. And then we release the toes, sit on long toes. That feels quite nice. We're going to take a thigh stretch with long plantar flexed feet. So you won't go as far. Definitely with tucked toes, you've got more of a bounce and rebound. That's the elastic recoil of the arches of the feet. Lovely. Stay up here, tuck the toes, sit back onto the heels. Remember, we're loading fascia. Good. Then we want to plug those hips into our hip sockets. So you want to plug your thighs, into your hip sockets, like they drop down, and your knees will come up. Hopefully at the same time, but you can have a little walk like me. Then the heels go down and we stand up. Yeah, it is a lot, but if you could practice this every day, that would be a great strategy for working at your desk, general posture, slumped over, too much driving, all of those things, because we're having to move through the body and open up areas which were coming sort of into different habits that maybe aren't serving you. So let's take that one more time, and then you can start to repeat it for yourself. So we're tall, half squat, full squat. Good. Heels down, body might move forward, and we're aiming more and more to get those heels down and try and keep our chest up, but we'll get there. Good. Knees lower, hopefully at the same time. So imagine opening up your hip flexors. Good. Keep those toes tucked. Come straight up into thigh stretch. Lovely. Your one lovely long line. Can you send your pubic bone through? Gently draw your belly button back a little bit. Good. Stay tall, untuck the toes, sit back on long plantar flex feet. You can have a little wriggle. Come up on those plantar flex feet. So we've got long toes, thigh stretch here. Different sensation. We're going to do 4. Nice. Stay tall, tuck the toes. Sit back into the heels, and you want to get as much of the toes as you can. This is where we're going to plug those thighs back into the hip sockets. At some point I will do it all together. Then you could go for another heels down, dive forward if you wanted to, so you can add bits. And then we go feet down, heels down, crown of the head up, we come to stand. Great. Remember, it's strategy, and it's practice makes permanent. Have a little shake out there. Fabulous. So then let's come down onto your mat. We'll come to the back of our mat and we'll take ourselves there nice and easy. Little roll down into the floor. If it's out of the way. So we can start at the back nice and long. Inhale here, exhale, soften the chin to the chest. Slide your breastbone, roll your ribs, forward fold. And there will be stuff going on from all of that hip folding and knee folding and ankle dorsiflexion we've been trying to find. Good. Stay here, hanging out over the legs, bend and soften in the knees, little plie squat. And then yawn open through the back of the legs. And bend and soften. And yawn open. And bend and soften. And open. And bend and soften. And open. Bend and soften again. Bring flat palms onto the mat and walk yourself out into your plank. Hands directly underneath the shoulders. Kick those heels away from the crown of the head. Press the floor away. The floor is your prop. Nice. Hang out here for 3 big deep breaths. Remember trunk stability. Lovely. Soften those knees. Big toes together when I try and merge 2 words. Your knees and your nose. And sink back into child's pose. Maybe steeple the fingertips, allow your chest to sink through, a little bit of thoracic extension. Great, uncurl, unroll up into all fours, your quadruped. Take a little cat-cow wriggle here, pressing the floor away and rounding the spine, opening the sitting bones, allowing your spine to undulate through. Nice and easy, just a little check-in. Great. From here, remember, we want our thoracic to be pretty happy and mobile. So we're going to stay in our tabletop position. So you're one long, nice line. Soften those bottom ribs back. Open your sitting bones a little bit. So you've got the natural curves of your spine. Good. We're going to allow your shoulder blades to squeeze together like there's a pencil in between them, and then yawn apart. And your spine stays lovely and neutral. So your spine is staying long, and your shoulder blades are just scrubbing around and then away from each other. Your spine comes along for the ride. Yeah, squeeze those rhomboids. Your neck is long, your gaze is over your fingertips. Fabulous. We can then come into our thread the needle. Remember, we want as much thoracic range and extension as we can get. The left hand stays down. We peel your right arm up towards the ceiling. Inhale here. Exhale, soften. Thread your needle. Thread past that left wrist. Bend in the left elbow if you can. Maybe get the right ear to the floor. Little press into the hand. Good. Inhale to sweep up. Exhale, soften, rotate. Inhale, open. Exhale, soften, rotate. Coming through and doing the other side. So we're going to inhale to open up. Exhale, soften and thread your needle. Bend in that right elbow. See if you can get the left ear to the floor. Nice. Inhale to open. Exhale, soften, rotate. Nice thoracic rotation. Inhale to open. Exhale, soften, rotate. Lovely. Then come back through to center. Have a little wriggle out there. Walk the knees in underneath your belly button. Tuck your toes into 6-point kneeling. Good. Hands, knees, tucked toes. Knees in underneath your belly button. Spine lovely and long. You want to check your glass knees. So our spine is in neutral. We press down into the feet and into the hands. Press the floor away and hover your glass knees up off the floor. When in doubt, don't tuck your bottom. Stick your bum more out. Good. We can have a little sway. We can have sway the knees side to side. Lovely. We can breathe. Nice. Release those knees down. Untuck the toes. Sit back. Give the wrists a little bit of a shake out. Great. Coming through to sitting in the middle of your mat then, we take a little look at our hip mobility, always one of our key areas. So just a reminder of our hip flow, to let our knees then drop from side to side. The wider the feet, the better. Keep your fingertips back behind you, supporting a nice long spine. Internal and external rotation. Good. Lovely. You can then let the knees sink and soften over to your right. Come to sit in that Z sit position. Take a little twist. Let's take a peek over your right shoulder. Let your left knee lengthen away. Come back through to center. We hip hinge forward fold over that right shin, ankle and foot. So not over the knee. You're forward folding. Roll those shins and feet down into the floor. Come up. Open up through that left hip flexor. Gently tilt the pelvis. Good. Have a nice yawn through here. They're pretty warm though. The heat now also helping us out. Reach your fingertips forward. Open your sitting bones. Sit yourself all the way back down. Good. Someone's going to do this on a really wintry day, aren't they? Be like, what heat? Good. Hip hinge forward fold. As energy goes down, the crown of the head goes up. So just think about when you're getting in and out of a chair. This is all good strategy. We don't roll forward along the floor. We're looking where we're going. Crown of our head is going long. Feet stand down. And we come up. Little tuck of your pelvis. Reach fingertips forward. Open the sitting bones. Sit back down. Good. Go one more time. Hip hinge forward fold. Energy down. Pelvis forward. Energy up. Little tuck here. Good. Open the sitting bones and sit yourself all the way back down. Feet change, knees change. We drop over to the left. You might need a little shuffle of your Z sit. Take a twist as well. Take a peek over that left shoulder. Good. And then come back through to center. We want to hip hinge forward fold, so we're rolling bone rhythm wise into the floor with our knees, our shins, our feet. Crown of the head goes up. We get to open up now through the right hip. Gently draw the belly button back, send the pubic bone through. Reach your fingertips out nice and long. Open your sitting bones, sit yourself all the way back down. One side's always a little bit more easier, it's got a bit more strategy than the other. Just hip hinge forward fold, that's important. Energy goes down, energy goes up. Pubic bone through, belly button back, reach your arms out. Nice big deep box in front of you. Open your sitting bones, forward fold, we come back down. Good, last one here. Hip hinge forward fold. Knees, shins and feet go down, crown of the head up. Nice, good. Open the sitting bones, come all the way back down. Fabulous. Feel free to have a little shake off of the legs. A wriggle out. We're going to lower ourselves down onto your back now. So coming down onto your mat, Have a little hug of the knees after all of that as well. Roll around like a little ball. Have a few little circles, check in how that feels. Good. Release the feet. Gently glue the legs together and let them have a windscreen wiper side to side. Let the feet come with you, so keep them stacked as much as possible. Arms low and wide. Keep the collarbones open, the shoulders down. Gaze can go in the opposite direction if that's comfortable. You can just leave it up towards the ceiling. Take a few of these, nice and slow, nice, easy, big, deep breaths. Especially to bring you back through to center. So use your internal oblique sling system for efficiency. A big exhalation of the abdominals can really help. Fabulous. We track back those feet into parallel. Maybe have a little pelvic tilt, a little shake out. Great. And then stand down into our feet. Tilt the pelvis and peel ourselves up off the mat into a bridge. So inhale to prepare. Exhale, stand into the feet, tilting the pelvis, peeling yourself up off the mat. Now we've done a lot of work. Opening here, reach those knees out over the toes, rest in between the shoulder blades. Inhale here, exhale, soften, lay yourself all the way down through the ribs, the mid, the lower back, sitting bones open. It'll shake off into the floor. And again, inhale to prepare. Exhale, stand down into the feet, feel the tilt of the pelvis, peel yourself up, reach those knees long and away out over the toes. Inhaling here at the top. Exhale, soften, lay yourself all the way down through the ribs, the mid, the lower back, sitting bones open. Take a little stretch or reach out, fingertips and toes long and away. Good, and then bring your arms, arm arcing back down by your side. Bend and soften in the knees, bring the feet in. Float one leg up to tabletop, 90-90. Do anything you need to do in between. And then bring the other leg up to join it. Oh, that one more. Good. So we want both legs 90-90, knees directly over the hip joint. Sitting bones are open, pelvis is neutral, abdominals are nice and long, head is relaxed. You might need a head cushion now. We're not bridging, so if you feel you need support, put a pillow underneath there. You sweep your arms up towards the ceiling, turn the palms to face each other, and we take our dead bug series here. So we're going to lengthen your left leg and your right arm away from that center line of the body. Good, and then draw back in. You can pick a breathing pattern that suits you. Maybe it's an inhale to lengthen away, opposite arm and leg. Exhale to draw back in. All the while, we want to keep your pelvis quite quiet, your ribs soft and heavy. There's no real change in your lower back too much. Don't lower the leg too much though, because that will change position of pelvis and ribs and lower back. So think about yawning open through the back of the knee. Good. To a point, an edge that feels comfortable for you. Good. Keep going. We're going to do one more to either side. Good. Lovely. Release one foot to the floor and then the other. Take those arms, arm arcing back behind you. Thumbs hitchhiking into the mat. And then carve them, arc them, reach them back down by your side. If you had a head cushion underneath your head, take it away. Stand into your feet, go straight into a bridge. Peeling yourself up, reaching your knees long and away out over your toes. Inhale here. Exhale, soften, lay yourself all the way back down. Open those sitting bones. Fabulous. Curling around to the side. We're going to take a hold of your soft overball and place it back behind you for thoracic extension. So it wants to be right back behind your breastbone, in between your shoulder blades, and we rest down into it. Sunlounger position. Interlace the hands back behind your head. Wrap the elbows a little bit more round than you would for chest lift. So this is a chest lift action. Good. We're just clearing the shoulder blades out of the way. Pelvis stays in neutral, feet stay in parallel, heavy thighs drop into the sockets. We're going to inhale and yawn your chest over the bowl. Remember, we keep the neck long, the head heavy. So we're not shortening or bending or creasing or folding here in the neck. The neck stays long. We're fanning open through the front of your chest. Exhale, soften. Slide your breastbone. Roll your ribs. Curl up to take a peek at your knees. And again, inhale to yawn back over the ball. Heavy head. Exhale, soften, slide your breastbone, roll your ribs, curl up. The slower you go with this, the heavier that head is, the longer the neck, the more you'll get range just happening in your thoracic vertebrae. And that's what we want, that incrementally, they're all just fanning open just a little bit dun, 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 to create this lovely big shape. Exhale, soften, slide the breastbone, roll the ribs, curling up. Good, take 2 more like this. Inhale, yawn back over the ball. Exhale, soften, slide the breastbone. Roll the ribs, chest lift, supported by the ball. Last one, inhale, yawn back over the ball. Exhale, soften, slide breastbone, roll ribs, curl up, take a peek at your knees. Good, ease back onto the ball just a little bit and take a bit of a windscreen wiper side to side, opening up through your lateral line, yawning open through those armpits, like there's a big dial on your chest, just taking a little pivot. Good. Then come back through to center, take 1 more big yawn back over the ball. Remember, long neck, heavy head. Soft ribs, where they're fanning in opposite directions. How does a fan work? Slide your breastbone, roll your ribs, curl up to take a peek at your knees. Roll into your side. Take the ball out from underneath you, just lay yourself back down. Having a little check in there. You might want a little windscreen wiper of the legs. Sometimes if we move in your sagittal plane, then your body wants to move in a different plane of motion. So rotation. Great, we curl around and come back up to seated. Happy Z sits. Come back through into all fours. Take a little cat-cow wriggle here. Good, we can tuck our toes and walk our hands back towards our knees and come into that low crouch again, loading down. Can we get those heels down even more? Dive the arms forward. Good. Release the feet down into the floor, crown of the head up towards the ceiling, come to stand. So not our normal roll up. Fabulous. And then have a little shake out. So I'm going to get rid of my mat because I'm going to be moving around the room. And it loves to be a trip hazard for me. And we now need your weights. So we're going to take a little look at loading the fascia on either side of the body to help create length and strength, and taking a little look at lunging with it. So you just need 1 of your 2 kgs, even your 1 kg would be enough. Just play around with it, load as is comfortable. It doesn't need to be massive. We just need to feel it. Like I can feel there's something in my hand there I have to press against, and that's what we want. So then from here, we can take a hold of it into your right hand and push it all the way up towards the ceiling. Now in doing so, as you push it all the way up towards the ceiling, your right foot has to stand down, and effectively your right side starts to lengthen under load. So we're loading your fascia. That's it. And under load, it can respond. It can also respond to spiky balls and movement, but it can respond to load as well. You know that when you're in a gym and you're pushing and pulling against something, your body, your fascia, your muscles are responding. So is your neurological system. So we're going to keep this up. Fabulous. And we're going to take a little walk around the room. So you can go for a full on walk around the house, pressing this right arm up as much as you can. That shoulder can come all the way up towards the ear. That would make sense. If you were trying to push something on top of a wardrobe, you would let that happen. So load this side of the body and go for a bit of an active walk. Right hand reaching up. We notice your right foot really wants to stand down to support you. It's not sort of half sliding because then you'll shuffle. Good. Push down. Keep walking. If you need to walk on the spot because you don't have as much room like me, you can do that. You kind of notice a difference. Lovely. Good. Come then to stand. If you can put your weight down a little moment, that can help. And just notice the right side over the left, sensations going through it. Have the shrug of the shoulders. Okay, pick the weight back up. into the left hand and press it up towards the ceiling. I can see my body already trying to find strategies here to get out of this. And go for a walk. Really press that left arm up towards the ceiling. You can add a bit more weight if, like me, this side needs a bit more feedback to press against. So you're using the feedback for your body to read what it needs to do. So you can add more weight if you want to. Take it for a walk around the room, walk around your house, down the hallway, come back to me. Good. Keep pressing that left arm, that left hand, that left weight up towards the ceiling. Stand down into the left foot, down and up. Press away. Good. Nice. Alrighty, put that weight back down. Have a little check-in, how the sides feel, so they actually lengthen under load. Great. We add on. So then we take the weight into your right hand and we want to take a little look at your 90-90 lunges. So for example, it's in the right hand, but we're going to step your left leg forward. Take our 90-90 lunge. Good. Hover the knee up off the floor and then press that weight up towards the ceiling. Lovely. Bring the weight back down. It can stay closer to your center of gravity and step back. Now step the right leg forward. Bend and soften. Left knee down. Press the right arm up. Come back through. And come back to stand. Stay with it in the right hand. We're going to do this differently. Push it up towards the ceiling. Step your left leg forward. Then take your lunge. It's a little bit easier because you were pressing up. Could you get more organization? Good. And then step back. That will be a little bit trickier. Good. Step your right leg forward. 90-90 lunge. As you're pressing up, do you notice you can get a little bit lower? You're a bit more organized. Good. Keep the press up and step back. Fabulous. Have a little shake out. Wriggle the right hand. We take the weight into the left. Fab. So then from here we step your right foot forward. Bend and soften. 90-90 lunge. The left hand has got the weight into it. Let me turn around. Can help you drop down. Good. And step back. Good. Left leg steps forward. Right knee bends. Feet are on 2 train tracks. Just check those. Gaze is out in front of you. Lovely. Oh, we can do a press up. My apologies. I knew I was going to forget something. So many layers. Bring it back through to center. And then step back. Good. Press the left arm up towards the ceiling. This is our most important one. Step your right foot forward as you're pressing up still. Good. And then as you go to lower, keep pressing up. Nice. Gentle tuck of the pelvis can help. Good. Push off that front foot. Lovely. Step your left foot forward. Loading your lateral line. Bend and soften in the right knee. Keep pressing up. How does this feel? It's a diagonal sensation going on in the body now. And then step that left foot back. Good work. You don't have to do hundreds of repetitions, especially if you've got quite a heavy weight. Come and have a little shake off back in the middle of the space. A little wriggle off through the hips, through the shoulders, the feet and the knees especially. Well done. Strategy, strategy. Let's take your feet nice and wide. Externally rotate them a little bit. You come into your sumo squat. Lovely. We bend and soften in the knees. And we can have a little wriggle out here. Keep your body nice and upright. Opportunity to place your hands onto the thighs. Down just above the knees and to dip one shoulder in for a bit of rotation. Good. And then the other. Nice. And there are loads of running strategy exercises we do, like getting way down into a big deep squat and having your hands above your head, holding a rod, that thoracic, overhead squat, range. Good. Stay here. You can then bring elbows and forearms onto your thighs. I'm going to walk my feet in a little bit. We're going to pick up the right heel and then back down and then the left. And you might have a little shake like me. That's okay. Good. You might also be slipping on your thighs like me. That's okay. Right heel up into big toe, second toe joints. We're not rolling out into the little toes. Go together. And again. Can you stay up? Can you lengthen in the legs? Stay in releve. Get those heels up. Get those heels up. Not your shoulders. Good. Send the arms down and out. Bring them up above you. Lovely. Let your arms drop. Good. Release your heels down. Bend and soften and just bring it in. Just have a little stand. You probably want to internally rotate. Good. Well done. Nice, calm to stand with those feet in underneath you again. Have a little shake off through the arms. Standing nice and tall. Those legs are really in underneath you now. The body's a little bit more organized. Ribs as well. Great. Inhale to reach your arms up towards the ceiling. Exhale and push down in front. Inhale to take a big jumper off. Exhale and push the ceiling away. Inhale here. Exhale, soften, round and contract over a massive beach ball. Have a shake out through the arms. Maybe a little swing and sway. Good. And unroll. Unravel. All the way up to standing. Taking a little moment here, maybe closing your eyes and thinking about which of those exercises could you commit to daily. The footwork, up and over, getting into the big toe joint, the middle toe joint. The squat sequence, coming all the way down to the floor, releasing your knees forward, doing the thigh stretch, plugging those thighs back into the sockets, standing up tall. The hip mobility, internal, external rotation, you know where Z sits. Thighs coming forward. The thoracic release, now that's just a yummy one to do quite a lot. Your dead bugs, for your core strength and stability. Good. Or your single leg lunges or strutting around the house with a weight in one arm above your head. And I mean really reaching, so you load the side body under tension. Get that fascia loaded under weight. Fabulous. Make that commitment to you now. Have a little think. Tomorrow I'm going to retry that exercise. And try to figure out where you can put it into your day. Answering an email whilst on the phone, when you're waiting for the kettle to boil, because that's what makes the difference. Practice. Inhale, shrug your shoulders up. Exhale, soften, sigh them down with relief. Inhale, shrug your shoulders up. Exhale, soften, open your eyes. As always, I'm done lecturing. Good work today. And I'll see you hopefully in a cooler day, not 30 degrees. And we can take it up a notch next time.